By the way, the cabinet has approved our recommendation that all public lands that had been sold are going under review to make sure there's value for money.
What is important is that we can pursue this case even without the physical presence of, Honorable Ofori Atta. So sometimes you wonder what's going on. It's just sometimes much ado about nothing.
Really?
It's not easy to extradite people like that. Oh. You remember when...
Is it not easy for you to tell him to come?
Of course, if I have deep apprehension that you are going to trample on my rights, I have every right to decide whether, I can take this risk or not.
Those have been arrested. Their rights been trampled.
Oh, but Professor, you are distracting me.
Asamno Anyayere, John Dramani Mahama, through Ghana Parliament, for the majority side in Parliament, Haruna Idris with the Education Minister, Papa Nekodi Sam Komono, Abra John Mahama, Ese, and Sasi a month for Fatomo, Ubaqua Sasi, I had that cantonment, What a man of 5,000 Ghana. And a state land. Capture a month for Atichi, Adia Fatichi. We a businessman now here, Yachebi Jiko. We a party executive, Yachobi, Jinako. And according to Zulumu, where a movement which is a united party. Or say to an extent, Sophia Akofu, no former Chief Justice, Onukran Unyabi Fala.
Protecting state lands and assets. That's the mission of this fact-finding mission, leading government's operation to recover all stolen state assets and lands. The first stop took the team to the Ministry of Agriculture's Mechanization Center, which houses an NVTI center and a cold room for exporters, only to find the premises destroyed by private developers.
Documents of this nature, a lot of them are value books. And value books, if you can check, Regulation 153 of the PFM requires that they are kept for a minimum of 7 years. And if you can't keep it anymore as a ministry, department, or an agency, you call the National Archives. They could have brought in the National Archives to pack these things and preserve them. And you see, they have removed the roofing, and so the next rain means all these things are gone.
The effect of this demolition exercise is biting hand, especially for exporters who say their produce has been left at the mercy of the weather.
And then we get a notification that we have to move from the place. But they didn't give us any details. So we'll be going front and back. We sent a letter to Ministry of Lands through Land Commission. They respond that they should give us we request that they should give us a close place close to the airport, because sometimes vegetable is a perishable product. When you ship, you miss your flight, you have a place, you have to keep your produce for some time or waiting for the next flight for the next day. So later, Land Commission was saying that they can't get us a place now because the land, they give the land to, they are doing redevelopment. So we can't intercept some document which there's a redevelopment on it, but they didn't capture our place. They didn't even give us a place.
At the Northern Development Authority, the team also uncovered an overnight encroachment on the premises of the authority, with a new wall constructed and redemarcating new borders. Addressing the press on the fallout on the mission, chairperson of the Oral Task Force, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, stated that the land grab will not continue.
And this cannot be allowed to continue. So you can expect that our report, the oral report, which we'll be presenting to His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, we will capture all of what has gone on here. And remember that this visitation we are carrying out is also a validation exercise. We don't want to be an armchair committee where anything that is brought to our attention, we just put it in a report and then we present a report which may not be credible. So what we are also doing today is validating all the reports that have come in. it is important to emphasize that oral has many layers, has many phases. This is just a preparatory evidence gathering phase. We will move into further investigations, prosecutions, retrievals, and all of that. And that's where the Attorney General comes in.
And John Dramani Mahama, through the Lands and Natural Resource Minister, Honorable Emmanuel Kofi Amabua, Chese, Amapong. Omudi have Parliament, and Parliament, I shall say, revoke all the lands among for Toyana illegally. Omudi Toyano. Omo Toyano is going to as I was looking at, but per the valuation by the state. And so, and also you go back. Now you go check it. Yes, I audit you okay. Said you came up Ghana Bano and one and you call. Never knows and yes, had ya, Chama, you go explain to as I see a budget. Where bra, the vice president, Jenna no Pukwajimai, Mamino Eco PMU, I was the lands and natural resource minister, and Chenaminim.
Story that my own house that I lived in for 6 years, I didn't have title. The day it was announced that I was nominated as lands minister. I got a message that my documents, they are working on it fast for me. And it's true story. It's true story. Frankly, it is clear that the systems, land administration, providing basic services for the people of Ghana must change. And so we began that journey first to look at what is really the problem at the Lands Commission. What has been the challenge at the Lands Commission? And these are the challenges that were described and the process of reviewing. One of the things we all heard about was that public lands that government had taken for specific purposes that now belong to government, some of them for agricultural purposes, some of them for different purposes were not used, now becomes government property. And somehow the people who have been given the charge to protect these lands were somehow abusing it. And so His Excellency the President had vowed to make sure that we get it right. And I'm happy to tell you that we constituted a team led by my able deputy, and we got cabinet approval to address that in the long term. That it will, by the time we finish, no government official will even cross their mind to take public land. Because we'll publish your name in every newspaper. By the way, the cabinet has approved our recommendation that all public lands that had been sold are going under review to make sure there's value for money, and process audit was done. Those that didn't finish the process are automatically cancelled. And so we are going on to make sure that we implement to the letter the cabinet recommendation to give confidence to the people of Ghana that we are going to protect public lands.
And this vote, we have, as a politician, what they call different level, we say, yet one, finance minister, Dr. Kesela 247. No what cheers Makwala. No nam a friend is a friend is a abu market. No nam hefa in answer or Kodija before. I didn't say when it comes to budget. Trade minister never seen from no abuso kind. No besides spare parts bomatis or say at so. Now Greek minister and the move home. They say no as a baby minister be a yatuno. Apart from transport minister. Only working houses, only tricky. I'm more here. But the engagement with the public. And easy. Young Godam was your vice president. Pro now all the ministries. I know go education minister or they have an Idris or couldn't come or call Sam Nate George and say Minister of Communication or no couldn't come or call a friend John Jinapo as we say or no couldn't come. Ogo PMU our lands and natural resource minister Honorable Kofi Amabua Chunte. A whole no catch say Mammy Papa John Dramani Mahama. Message of them no clear. Jene ye the PMU the Parliament of Ghana. Omo dear to me say if we never crow, what the Koti Kwanso talk Ghana as I say Biano. Say a rank at Munye ya ye jiade. na wo so out there no utwe sika bia if is a one training na wie no is how dey kaka ho ansa na sase na ayawo dey am say mo dia munyini na preko hey because state land there you try to work for a purpose either say be see hospital bi university bi school bi factory bi eti mo ton ton mama for say how why ade na bibini ye greedy sa mo na ba wie ye sika say tam mo betima to asase bi a mo pe bia no mo be say twa mo say a friend say kono na mo asase amoti mo ba na asase na asaka ye de be ye project because mo nya ma dwe say project bia no me Ghana nti asase mo cha mo rada ade mo ma me politics because of the interest of the people no mo packet mo girlfriends ne mo yere ne mo babusu afo no no omo nkwa na ebe didi am say pacha yo why are they na sa bo she ya the last and natural resource minister honorable Kofi Emmanuel Kofi Amabua e kai di na me mo na nye ho yenye nsase na omo ntwesi kan so agusi bibizesi no mo ma do say moto ngwa de ye ka we ntenye ti at least mo yenye value for money on can Ofori Atta ba before so ye mu ye bio esase a Martin Tamam contractor masia sero cathedral modisika mansi palugudama modisika yahuda Ken ya Ofori Atta ana papa ye friend Hassan Tampuli say ono as an MPP member futo de betu Ken Ofori Atta say manama o made the obey bia manama because the way a manner the attorney general aye Ken Ofori Atta yopo no was said that Ghana for anticipating in my demonstration yakos kura de ne here time yama Ken Ofori Atta look like say even though say court of competent jurisdiction M1 for no and they were for you that or say na the ye say o ne Ken Ofori Atta motivation ben pan obinya ado epe mo mangara.
We were all saying we don't believe in the OSP when the OSP they were saying that they don't trust him when he says that he was going to treat himself and will be back. When they said they don't trust him, now he's proved them right, and now there are calls on you to bring him back. Otherwise, your political fortunes are affected heavily.
But you see something. This matter. Sometime in June last year, that's when Honorable Ken Ofori Atta went for his surgery at the Mayo Clinic. And the records were there. Any person could have verified the veracity or otherwise of that. After undergoing the surgery, I'm sure most of the time, you'll find that people have some recuperating period and so on and so forth. Yeah, it may have gone past that period. It's been 6 months now, I believe. It may have gone past that period. But you see, they say that the first law of nature is what? Self-preservation. I am just conjecturing, all right? And allow me to do some conjecture. If I see the way and manner that people like Wuntumi and then OCB and all of that have been arrested, and then bail conditions, onerous bail conditions are put on them and so on and so forth. And sometimes, I don't know whether the NSS chief executive has even been left to go. The one who had the 800 million bill.
They are all on bail now.
They are all on bail. No, he was granted the bail, but he couldn't even meet the bail condition.
Yes, I think it got reduced. Yeah, I think twice or so.
200 million and all of that.
Twice or so.
Is he still not in custody?
I think now.
He's still in custody. He's still in custody.
Really?
Let's check.
Okay.
Let's check. He couldn't meet the bail condition.
Because he's not meeting bail conditions. It's not that he has been denied bail.
You understand? That's what I was talking about. The onerous bail conditions.
Let's check.
You understand? So all of these things, they don't, go to motivate somebody like that to come. And I'm just speaking, from my perspective. But what is important is that there's too much politicization of, a simple criminal matter. Now, if you look at the case of Sedina Tamaklo, when she absconded, Attorney General didn't make any fuss. There was no press conference. There was nothing. And until recently, I didn't even know that there was an extradition request that was put in by the
Attorney General.
You are not following the news.
No, at the time, it even just became public.
No, it had been public. I had interviewed Alfred Tuayebua like twice.
What I'm saying is that until now, many people did not know that there was even an extradition request. You see, what is important is that we can pursue this case even without the physical presence of, Honorable Ofori Atta. So sometimes you wonder what's going on. It's just sometimes much ado about nothing.
Really?
It's not easy to extradite people like that. Oh. You remember when...
Is it not easy for you to tell him to come?
Of course, if I have deep apprehension that you are going to trample on my rights, I have every right to decide whether, I can take this risk or not.
Those who have been arrested, their rights been trampled.
Oh, but Professor, you are distracting me. You're distracting me. There is this minister for petroleum in Nigeria who left office with President Goodluck Jonathan. Alison Desani Alison Madueke, yes. She's been in the US and UK courts off and on, and there's been an extradition request since 2015. They have been able to go make searches, charge her for all manner of offenses, bribery, corruption, seize properties, and so on and so forth. But the extradition, to date, EFCC has not been able to get the extradition for her to report it to the country. So you proceed with the trial.
How do you proceed with a trial? He's been charged.
Yes.
There is a summons.
Yes.
The summons will be served on him. If it is served on him and then he refuses to honor the summons, there will be an arrest warrant, a bench warrant on him.
Yes.
Then he'll be looked for and arrested. If he's not found, then you say the process can go on. But you can't say that the prosecutor starting the process should say, oh, he's unavailable, so let's go.
But see,
it's not done.
The reality is that he's unavailable.
No,
and there are remedies under the law.
He's available, refusing to make himself present.
Technically, he's not available. Because if he was available,
he's available to the US government, but not available.
You don't necessarily have to have the person physically present. And there are remedies under the law for you to proceed.
You are worried
without necessarily, going through all these
questions have been asked. What kind of a republic do you want?
No,
that people can do anything they want and jump on the next flight and say whatever you want, do
and
at my back.
And people like you saying that it doesn't. No, but people have issues with somebody who is yet to be tried. Hold, please. You have issues with somebody who is yet to be tried, but you don't have issues with somebody who was on trial and has actually been convicted, and she's run away out of the country.
Who don't have issues
you're not spending time on the.
Why are they not?
You're not spending time on the lady.
That is high profile.
You are not spending time on the.
No, exactly what do you mean? Because wait. Let's avoid that. Let's avoid that obfuscation and misleading of the public.
It looks like there's too much attention.
The Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana began an extradition process.
Yes.
Godfred Dame began an extradition process.
Yes.
For Sedina Tamaklo. What else has to be done?
No, I'm saying
what else has to be done?
So we have people demonstrating. We have the people demonstrating at the US Embassy. That one is low-hanging fruit.
Okay.
Why are they not demonstrating about that one too? So all of these things, I'm building a point. You have turned what would have been pure criminal case into a political persecution.
Who has?
Hold. There are people, NDC apparatchiks, who are out there, and people who are Ken, who are pro-NDC, who are out there demonstrating. You are building a certain point for the US Embassy people or even the American government to believe that, look, this is not just any simple criminal case. It looks like there are political undercurrents. You understand? So if Ken now is building his case on the point that, look, all of this thing is about political persecution. Look, you will make him build a very
strong case for himself. Is that something that is believable from where you sit?
You will make him build a very strong case for himself.
You, as a lawyer and former minister and in parliament, is that proposition something you believe?
No, it's a proposition that is available for anybody to believe.
No,
and
it's
he
you
can
I'm
make
asking.
That case.
It's you I'm asking.
No, I'm saying that, look, you are doing a case, and every part of the case is in the public domain. And then you are making it look like without Ken, look, all these oral cases, the 200 million or 20 billion or so amount that is supposed to be gotten cannot be got.
If he had made himself available, will there be all of this drama?
For instance, well, that is out there for the jury to decide. But for instance, what is the real case for Ken to answer?
You haven't seen the SML case.
That's the SML case.
That one we are told is even a tip of the iceberg.
And so why are the other cases? So currently, before the judge, the immigration judge, the Department of Homeland Security goes there to talk about the bill, application. And now they themselves introduce an issue regarding the fact that Ken is being pursued under an extradition request before the judge. So the judge was hearing for the first time. I said, look, but I don't have any formal documents before me. All right? And they presented only BBC reports and then some newspaper, cuttings as proof. Now you have to come. So in this country, apart from that particular SML case, is there any other substantive case?
The Attorney General says yes.
But there's no case. Has there any case been filed?
He's been under investigation.
So the investigation is not, charge sheets. You need charge sheet. Charge sheet is the foundation of all of this.
How do you arrive at a charge sheet?
Something.
Investigations lead to a charge sheet.
So, and they haven't been able to finish the investigations. And you want the man in. Look, proof to Ghanaians. You are talking about, for instance, National Cathedral. National Cathedral, what is the wrongdoing? Forensic reports have been conducted. And even the Attorney General has made comments about that. Where is the wrongdoing? Where is the smoking gun? I'm speaking now, I'm even confused because I want to know exactly what case beyond the SML case that Ken is supposed to answer. And we're so fixated about him coming to Ghana, being extradited and so on and so forth. Look, you can proceed, you can tick all the boxes, and you can secure conviction without necessarily having the man, in this country.
That should become the norm.
And I think
that should become the norm.
That cannot be the norm because in fact it is. You
hit a person on the road. You kill them.
In fact,
you kill them. The police person says, "So I've taken his number. Go rest." You go to court. Is that how it should be done?
In fact, it is one of two exceptions since this Fourth Republic started. Yesterday, Natamaklo and it is Ofori Atta that we are seeing are being requested to come and account for their political, stewardship. And then we are having these challenges about extraditing them before we were able to do this case. But I'm saying that, look, we have politicized the case so much so that we have even fortified this case in the US. And I would not be surprised that this...
At the way, any Ken Ofori Atta, the former finance minister, and they go pay our United States of America detention room order or the student mattress and senior high school bed in the hey, Ken Ofori Atta. Oh, that be. A whole former finance minister. Broken to say, Usru, unim DBC. Now when you're born near Papa, who goes through saying, and as a guy, I had a time what in Gometata and another year with Gometata. To the brate, oh, brand show, near you good be fine what it. Now, every before now, some don't ask him more. John Dramani Mahama, information ready, Nipot had my pa. The foreign affairs minister, Samuel Oku, the Blackwa. Kase papa no abra na NDC opposition na ND MPP incumbent omo na take kunya no so this is Anton oba be kan see oba tia say land we pia twa kai e ko omo the land we ko da na say ada say ema ye tonton land na agusi foreign affairs ministry ho a ene ono obutu ye tonton bi na ho ene oba yi no abeje na ade back na za say no government land over 5,000 bedi for 10,000 bedi. See this land na senka yesi ye turn evaluate a and then $1 million and $2 million no matter am 5,000 Ghana 10,000 Ghana na mikuru kasapin kurara kasapin se o gas o to asase o ha o be so ne sen kasapin o to asase o ha o be so ne sen o kurom finfin na kra ana mafo die boni die dream sa all for their selfish interest na me say high time say ye just how word na you say honorable or benable. What is honorable about the behavior? I am sure say. And to be a politics, Obego Parliament for just 4 years. Obega say ya to agree that sika gari the amano. In 4 years, no see see done best 5, 6. Ebu Accra, Ebu Kumasi, Ebu ni Chrome. Kasi de to be grammar again or only the obitri na onya. Hono a year tam. Miwa uyo salary. That salary ain't enough. So obit ma only 1/10 of that properties. And there. Ain't corruption. And yes, he can do. And yet, that's the kind of woody. And ebre. Now we are masabaton sase. I'm a cheap prices. Just a monk at the Pabia Fatam. Because national cake, you know. In I, yes, I won't be needy. Sana a few people in him. I know more left, right, center. Omuya, Amanu Suabogs, Abatanine nonsense. Why? A naked truth. Our Oldboga trends. I didn't know about Maxi Billian. For comments, no, at all, comment session, I say, Ghana, yes, I see a man for Tomomono. According to the Lands and Natural Resource Minister, to my friend Jen Nano Pogwajima, the Vice President, Yediade back. Kenoforiata Hassan, Tampulia MPP ni, no can MPP upon Tisuno since 2016 to 2024. Papa said, Kenoforiata man, or Baba Yede on Tias here. You don't let him far because of attorney general conduct. Ghana for Minumi, you're born for that. And sanity, and then sanity. We are subscribing, like it, not say, but Unyasu in every area. You know, I wanted that, that I have a Macron. Bye bye.